Hi, let's do another reading. I'm kind of backlit, aren't I? Hold on. Okay, let's do a reading. I constantly have to sneeze right now. I must be sideways. Oh! Okay. Let me see. What is it that you are currently dealing with? What is your subconscious most want to talk about? Nine of Swords and 10 of Wands. So a very heavy burden on your heart lately. What is it to do? What does it have to do with? Page of Cups reversed and 5 of Pentacles with strength. I want to say it's, with this Page of Cups, it could be something to do with maturity. It could be something to do with this 5 of Pentacles that's feeling left out in the cold. We got that in the last reading as well. You may be feeling like you might feel kind of childish lately in a way, or you might be kind of reminiscing on how a situation used to be, like maybe for a job or for, it's something where you're reminiscing on kind of how you used to act, maybe. And then right now you're dealing with this sort of loss. You're dealing with some sort of loss. You might have felt like this loss had to do with immaturity of some kind. But with strength, I'm seeing that I'm seeing in this artwork she's embracing the lion. The lion's embracing her. And I'm seeing it as a self-soothing kind of thing. Releasing a burden, maybe on your past mistakes. So it seems like that's what this is about right now. Let's go a little deeper. Knight of Pentacles, sorry. 7 of Cups reversed. The Fool reversed. Definitely focus on material things, money, jobs, or some type of secure position, title. You might feel a bit, I don't want to say confused. With the 7 of Cups, with the 7 of Cups reversed, this is getting rid of confusion, getting rid of optical illusions? That's weird. Getting rid of illusions, the fogginess clearing up. And then we have the Fool reversed, so you're kind of like avoiding something, or you're hesitating on a beginning with something. I see that maybe this has to do with wanting to stay feeling secure or safe. Yeah, with the way I'm seeing these cards, the Fool is kind of like pushing away this reversed Seven of Cups. Six of Cups, actually. Oh my gosh. This is actually the Six of Cups. But the fact that I was talking about illusions clearing away, that seems important and prominent. There's a fly in here. Get out of here. The Six of Cups has to do with the past. It has to do with, it can be nostalgia, but it can also be past events, past connections, memories of something. Yeah, false sense of positivity. I'm seeing that you're... Okay, this actually adds so much more, because at first I was like struggling to put this together. I'm seeing that like with this Knight of Pentacles, you might be thinking back on things, like I said earlier. You might be thinking back on how something used to be. You might be thinking back on how you used to act or how a situation used to feel. But there was a certain illusion around that. There was something surrounding that where it was like a film. It was like rose-colored glasses. You may be in a process of realizing that. It could be like you're realizing it wasn't as good as you thought, but it could also just be generally... Sorry, my windows are open. It could be generally realizing just different things. You're just having different realizations about something. Realizing ways in which it held you back. Realizing ways in which like your past behaviors were actually you putting something off, or realizing different ways in which you were actually kind of irresponsible in something. Maybe you forgot something and now you're remembering it. This isn't meant to be like self-bashing. It's not meant to be like, like why did you do that, whatever. It's meant to be it's a learning moment, as everything is, pretty much. Oh, that's something else. Okay. I think it's asking for this. Let's move to Oracle. Crab, adaptability, rebirth, and independence. Oyster, transformation, contradiction. I wonder if you can hear that. Elevation. Salts, purification, balance, endurance. Plankton and siren. Wow. Let me look at crab first. The crab holds on tight with its claws, but molts its hard shell when it's time to let go. Yeah, gripping on tightly to these past memories or to this past version of something, but shedding it all when it's time to release it. Confirmation honks, I guess. Oysters, contradiction. What is that about? Oysters. Something coarse can become a luxury. What are you taking for granted? What were you taking for granted before, and now you have it? What are you taking for granted now? And then when you move upwards, you'll be looking back now, thinking, man, I missed this little thing. Confirmation honk. Purification and endurance. Might have to close my window. Yeah, I'm gonna close it. Okay. Yeah, so right now it's kind of, you're in that weird in between where right now you're looking back on something. You're thinking about how you used to feel in that time, how you used to act, the ways in which you were immature, but also the things that you loved about that time. But it's also like you are currently living in 11:11 while I'm saying that. You're currently living in that right now, where your future self is going to have excelled even further, and they will be looking back on you now, thinking the same things that you're thinking now. It's a time of releasing that old shell, shedding it, molting it off, but also acknowledging the elevation that you're going through and will be going through, taking a good long look around where you're at currently, saying thank you to it. That's this purification and balance. That's the salt. Plankton. I've gotten that card a couple times. Plankton. Individual may be invisible, but the collective is impactful. Okay, Siren, let me see that one. The siren's irresistible call lures sailors to doom. Wisdom is knowing when to stick your fingers in your ears and keep going, and when to stop and listen. Something about a collective here. I think you're being advised not to exactly follow the crowd at this moment in time. You may be dealing there was so much here about emotions and work in the tarot cards. So maybe you're dealing with like a group of people just like a person or something. But you're seeing another truth to it. 1331, when I was saying that, you're seeing some sort of truth here. It's like maybe a boss or a manager, it's like they have to be the bad guy, but they're doing their job. Or it's like everyone is disliking this one person, but they're actually pretty cool, you know? And you might kind of feel tempted to go along with the crowd here, but you're being advised against that. Knowing when to stick your fingers in your ears and when to stop and listen. Let me let's grab this one. What's the tea? You might have somebody around you, you might have a feminine figure around you. Doesn't have to be literal, it could be about energy, it doesn't have to literally be a woman. But you might have a feminine figure around you that you're kind of in some tense energy with. Or this can be a sign of like catty energy just in general within your environment lately. Hooked. Creativity steals your ideas, copies your work. Queen rising, stepping into power. Yeah, arguments. Yeah, you might just be in some catty energy right now. And this probably has to do with that message about going with the crowd. So overall, it looks like Spirit is telling you basically that if like you've been thinking about your past mistakes, I wanted to say, even though that's not what I was going to say. You've been thinking about your past in some way, thinking about your past environment or something, kind of reminiscing on it, and maybe even being a little hard on yourself for it or judging yourself. But there's no need. You didn't realize, you didn't know any better at the time. Now you do. And now you act different, right? And then understanding where you're at currently, seeing where you're at currently, and looking for the things to be grateful for, along with looking at the things that you've learned from that past time, the things that you're grateful to have overcome, as well as the things that you miss and everything. Overcoming some sort of immaturity here. That crowd message may also have to do with that past immaturity. Maybe before you would have just gone with it and joined the crowd. You're not doing that now. You're being advised not to do that now. Yeah. It's a cleansing. It's being brought up so that you can clear it away. As for that catty energy that you're around, good luck. I don't know. That's my message. I hope it helped in some way. Alright, I gotta go. Bye.